My family turned me into my bratty stepsister's full-time caregiver. They treated me like dirt, so I destroyed them twice as hard. When my mom married Paul 3 years ago, I was happy she'd found someone after Dad died. Paul seemed nice enough and came with a 16-year-old daughter named Olivia, who'd been in a wheelchair since a car accident when she was 8. Mom said we'd be a perfect blended family, and I'd finally have the sister I'd always wanted. I was 18 and about to start college, but Mom convinced me to take a gap year to help everyone adjust. She said Olivia needed time to get comfortable with new people, and having a stepsister her age would help. What she didn't mention was that by help, she meant become Olivia's unpaid full-time caregiver. The first week after they moved in, Paul announced that Olivia's previous aide was too expensive now that they had me. He'd already canceled her service and expected me to take over immediately. I had no training or experience, but Paul said it wasn't hard. I just needed to help her with transfers, bathroom needs, getting dressed, and making sure she ate her specific meals at the designated times. When I said I didn't know how to do any of that safely, he said I'd figure it out. Mom backed him up, saying this was what families did for each other. Olivia seemed sweet at first, thanking me for helping and apologizing for being a burden. But once she realized I was trapped, everything changed. She'd demand I wake up at 5 in the morning for her first bathroom trip, then berate me for being slow. She'd insist on specific outfits, then scream that I'd dressed her wrong. She'd throw her breakfast on the floor if it wasn't exactly the temperature she wanted, then tell Paul I'd refuse to feed her. And Paul believed every word because his poor, disabled daughter couldn't possibly lie. When I tried telling Mom that Olivia was being cruel, she said I needed to understand that Olivia's life was hard, and acting out was natural. When Olivia told me she wished I'd die in a car accident so I'd know how she felt, Mom said she was just processing trauma. When Olivia deliberately knocked over my laptop while I was applying for online classes, destroying my applications, Paul said, accidents happen, and I shouldn't leave electronics where Olivia could reach them. Everything in Olivia's radius was apparently my fault. The worst part was Olivia was perfectly capable of doing most things herself. I'd catch her transferring to her chair alone when she thought I wasn't looking. Then she'd scream for help the second she heard footsteps. She'd reach things on high shelves in her room but claim she couldn't feed herself in front of her dad. She had full upper body strength and control, but played completely helpless whenever it benefited her. She'd roll herself to the bathroom at night, but during the day, I had to push her everywhere. 6 months in, I was exhausted and depressed. I'd missed college enrollment, lost touch with friends because I couldn't leave the house, and spent every day being verbally abused by Olivia, while Mom and Paul lived their best lives. They went on date nights while I stayed home. They took weekend trips while I managed Olivia's care. They'd thank me for being such a good sister, then leave for hours. One day, Olivia's physical therapist, Anne, came for her monthly check-in. Olivia immediately went into helpless mode, claiming she'd lost mobility since last visit. Anne started testing her range of motion, and Olivia failed every test, acting like she couldn't even grip a pencil. Anne looked concerned and said they'd need to increase sessions. After Anne left, Olivia laughed and said that was too easy, that medical professionals were idiots who believed anything. She didn't know Anne had forgotten her phone and came back to get it just in time to hear everything through the door. Anne knocked and asked to speak with me privately. She'd been Olivia's therapist for 5 years and knew exactly what Olivia was capable of.